Welcome back to the channel, guys. So in last video we've seen about OOP concept in Java. So in this video we'll be seeing about arrays and string. So before going into the definition of the arrays and strings, so why we require arrays and strings, right? So in my previous video we have seen about primitive data types, where they are like by far enough for storing like single values, such as in character we can say store single character values, and in integer we can store decimal values, right? But what about the group of data, right? What about the group of data or the group of collections or group of names if you want to store them? So there obviously the primitive type of data fails, right? So in order to come the limitation of primitive data types, Java provides us with non-primitive data types. So arrays and strings are example of non-primitive data types or user-defined data types, meaning that these arrays and string can be developed or designed in terms of user requirement and can be effectively used and modified them, right? Can modify them. So why we require arrays, right? Why we require arrays and strings, right? So before going into the concept of arrays, let's consider real world scenario. As I told, obviously I will be telling this thing that is that whatever we will be doing in the programming is to just to automate the things in the real world and make our life easier, right? That's the ultimate aim of programming, to make our life easier and to work in an efficient manner. We do require programming here, right? So let's consider a scenario where there is a class with certain number of students, suppose say 20 to 30 students. So there comes a situation now, each and every individual students have particular marks associated with them, right? So how will you store this set of marks belong to particular student, right? Then we can't store we can't take single variable value and store the entire marks of particular student, because those single value will only be associated with single variable, right? So in order to overcome this, arrays can be used, right? Yeah, arrays can be used. How? I will explain that. Suppose let's consider the scenario now. There's a student, and he has attended 6 unit tests, and there are 6 respective test marks or scores been scored by him in that particular 6 unit test, right? Then how you will store these 6 unit test marks in a single variable? It's impossible. So we require arrays there, right? So arrays and normal variables are like almost similar, the way of declaration and initialization. But there is a catch here. There is this square brackets which separate array from normal variable, right? So this square brackets tells the compiler of the Java that this is not just an ordinary variable. This is a type of array variable, right? And now let's jump into the definition here. So it states that the arrays are fixed size. Yes, obviously in Java arrays are fixed size, meaning that we can't change the size of the array once it's initialized, right? So how we will know the size of the array? Obviously integer will be knowing it takes 2 bytes and character will be taking 1 byte. Similarly double will be taking 8 bytes and float will be taking 4 bytes, right? How will know the character or size of the array, right? It depends upon the at the time of declaration. We will declare an array and we will assign the size to it. I will show how it's done. But dynamically we can't change the size of the array. Just keep this thing in mind. And index collection of elements of the same type. And in Java, the arrays are of one must be the same type, meaning that two different types of or two different data types cannot be stored in single array. Suppose there is a character and there is a number. I can't combine these two values and store in a single array. If I need to store a character array, everything inside array must be character. If I need to store an integer array, every element in that particular array must be integer. We can't mix them and store in a single array, right? That's the definition here. And useful for storing and accessing sequence of value, right? As I told, any values can be stored and also accessed in array, and how it will be done I will show in at the time of practical examples. And strings. So why we require string, right? So as I told, we will be automating everything here. That's the use of writing the program. I will be saying this thing many times, right? So for storing a single character, there is a char data type. What about a paragraph? What about words? And what about big text? How to store them? So here comes the concept of strings, right? We can store strings. So strings are like similar to array. So I have combined these topics so it can be easy to understand. So in memory, how the arrays will be represented. Similarly, the strings also will be represented. but the end of string will be marked, right? There will be end of string mark \0 stating that this is the end of string. I will show that with an example. So coming to the definition, immutable sequence of character, right? So in Java, the strings are immutable, meaning that we can't alter them or change them once it's been declared or initialized, right? We can't do that. So Java provides a wide range of methods for string manipulation. Okay, Java also provides wide range of methods, inbuilt methods, or the code already written by few developers, so that we can use them, right? I will show them. Nothing big in that. And coming to string builders and string modifiers, why you require string builders and string buffer is that so that the string can be mutable. So mutable alternative string, meaning that strings are immutable, right? So Java provides these types of two classes or interface so that we can alter the string values and also allow effective modification. Obviously they can be modified, that's the initial use of them. So what's the difference between modifier, sorry, what's the difference between builder and buffer? We will see that. So before going into the actual practical hands-on part, I need to share a few theoretical aspects of arrays and strings. So let me open those things. Yeah. So in memory representation of arrays and strings are quite similar. So let's consider a scenario where I need to store 6 digit or 6 integer values 10, 20, 30, 50, 40 and 80 in an array. So this is how the arrays will be stored. So suppose say that x is the name of the array, right? Int x. So how will you differ normal integer or ordinary integer from array integer, or right? So for that we will use square brackets. So if I say int x, it's just a normal variable. If I say int x of square brackets, it is stating to the compiler that it's an array, right? So value of x of 0 is 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, like that the array list is containing. So if we go and see that here the x is the name of the array list, and if we need to access the first element of that array, we need to give x of 0, and why not x of 1, right? First element we should give x of 1, right? There is a catch here, because in array in Java, the index or the value accessing part starts from 0, meaning that the first element will be having index of 0 rather than 1. What is the meaning of index is that the first element, right? Indexes are numbers given to particular elements in an array so that they can be easily accessed, right? Suppose I need to access the fifth element, so I will give x of 4, meaning that I will need to access the fifth element in the array, but we need to give x of 4, meaning that because the index value of the Java array starts with 0. Also array objects with index position, that's what I explained. So together they, if there are many indexes, we call of indices or indexes, anything. So in memory, as I told, each integer takes 2 bytes, right? So what's the size of this array? It will be 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, meaning that it will be 12 bytes of memory will be occupied by this array x, and these are the addresses. 3020 is address, 2 bytes will be taken for this 10 variable, and 3020 is the 20 address or the 20 variable value stored in an array, and these are the memory addresses as I have told. So how the like indices are used for accessing the elements of the array? Similarly in string also, indices are used to store the each characters, right? That's why I've taken this example here. So similarly, as how the arrays will be storing elements in the form of indices, similarly the string also will be stored the values in the form of indices, and as I told, each character holds 1 byte of memory. So in addresses also there is one number being changed here, 1 byte. Each block represent 1 byte here. Similarly the index also stands from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, and this is \0 represent the end of string. This is known as end of string character here, meaning that this when the pointer comes here, the compiler will come to know this is the end of string. So what is pointer? I think we'll make a separate video of that. So yeah, that's all for the theoretical aspect of arrays and strings. So let's go into the hands-on part now. So as I told, they are also one dimension and two dimensional array. So what is one dimension, two dimension? So I will explain with an example here, it will be fine. So let's go with one day array. These are normal array. As I told, the normal variable declaration goes like this, right? If I take out the square brackets, this is normal integer, right? Normal integer variable named numbers. So how to make this an array variable so that it can store a list of values? Just put an square brackets followed by the variable name. So this will make the numbers variable as integer array, right? That's the catch here. And initialization part also is similar, but we will be using new keyword here, right? New keyword is dynamic memory allocation, as I told in my previous videos. And this int, so this is an inbuilt class present in Java, meaning that integer at the time of declaration we are declaring an array containing five what five spaces. We can tell like that, five spaces, but in memory it will be stored in the form of 2 into 5, 2 bytes into 5 spaces. And this bytes depends upon compiler, guys. This entirely depend on compiler, like it will be 32 bits processor, 64 bit processor, it depends upon that, right? Suppose in the normal scenario we will be taking integer as 2 bytes. That's why I'm telling it will be taking 2 bytes, 2 into 5, so 10 bytes of memory in the space, right? Array of 5 integers, we can store an array containing 5 elements in them. And combined declaration initialization is also possible. So as I told, the square brackets can be present here also and here also. Java doesn't differentiate them. And new is used to indicate there is 5. So this is known as initialization, this is known as declaration, right? So what we are doing here is that at the time of initialization we will declaring the values in the array. Here we are just telling that dynamically we will be storing some value, and it contains 5 values, meaning that 5 elements will be storing in further part or at the time of coding. But here what we are doing is that at the time of initializing the num variable we are assigning a value to it, right? We are assigning the value to the num integer array variable to the values of 1 2 3 4 5, meaning that at index like at index num of 0 will be getting 1, num of 1 will be getting 2, num of 2 will be getting 3 value, and num of 4 will be getting 5 value, like that, right? That's what it's been there. And accessing array, so once you have declared and initialized the array, how to access them, how to use them? Of course we are storing some value, how to use the value, right? So for that, as I told, numbers variable of the array followed by a square brackets, within that we will indicate the position, meaning that zeroth index, meaning that the first element, this will be accessed, right? First element meaning that the second element in the array. Index, as I told, it starts with 0, that need to be kept in mind. So yeah, we can store the value. So once we access the value, it need to be stored in a particular variable, right? So that's what we are doing here. And how to get the length of the array? Of course we are showing the array. Suppose the other programmers have stored the array and we will just know the value, like we will be knowing the name of the array. How to get its length? For that there is an inbuilt method known as length. Using this length method we can get the length of the array, and it will be an integer value. The return type of this length method will be an integer. So that's what we are doing here. And how to loop inside the arrays, right? Iterating over arrays. You can also use loop to iterate over the array elements here, meaning that not only we can get the single value, but we can get the entire list of values by looping them. As I told, there are for loops and enhanced for loops which can be using, right? So for loop, as I told, this is an initialization part, and this is an condition part, and this is an incremental part. So I have explained this declaration or declarative statements in my previous video, please go through that. So what we are doing is nothing but this numbers variable, we are getting a single value only, but once we are looping this iteration will go for from 0 to till the end of the array, the length method we are using, right? So for example, suppose let's say that I will comment this out. They are 1 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5, right? This is the element present in the array. So similar to this, there will be index of from 0 1, just a minute guys, 0 1 2 3 4, right? 0 1 2 3 4, these are the index value and these are the array elements, right? So the index starts with 0, right? The index starts with 0 and nums of length. So this array length is equal to, in our example, the array length is somewhat similar to 0 1 2 3 4 5. Array length is similar to 5, right? the array is having 5 elements. This is the numbers, is a variable name of the array, and it has 5 elements, not 0, sorry, 1 2 3 4 5, and these are the indices of that particular array. So if I say, if I start the loop or the counter from 0, and I will go till the length of the array, so this value will be initialized to 5 here. So I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, right? At this point of initialization, the value of the array is 0. So in the system.out.println function, what I am doing is that I am printing the value of numbers of 0. So what's the value of numbers of 0? It is 1. So in the prompt, I need to get the value as 1 as output, right? And similarly, the value of I is incremented now, and the value of I is now what? 1. And for that value of I1, I'm having an array value of 2, right? So now 2 will need to be prompted to the console. Similarly, 3 will be prompted, 4 will be prompted, and 5 will be prompted, right? This will be the output of this for loop. Similarly, for each loop, as I have explained in my previous videos, so this number value is just an temporary variable which we are using, and we are iterating through the numbers array, and directly no need to do this steps of initialization, condition, and incrementation, etc. For each loop, the compiler is brilliant. It can understand what we are expected from it, and we are just printing the value of that variable. We'll be printing similarly 1 2 3 4 5. So I think that's for the 1D array. So let's go to 2D array. So what's the difference between 1D and 2D array is that we can store array inside an array, right? That sounds catchy, right? So let's take a real world scenario here again. So if I need to store just an individual or individual student marks, they will be like 5 unit test and 5 score. What about I want to store the entire class marks? Suppose there are 20 students, right? Suppose there's 20 students and 6 unit test. What we can do in those cases? We can use 2D arrays here, meaning that the outer array will be containing 20 elements in them, and within the 20 elements, each element will be containing inside 6 elements, right? In number example, these 6 elements, and these 6 elements represent the marks of a particular individual student. That's the case here, guys. So for these types of scenarios, we need 2D arrays, 3D arrays, ND arrays, any dimension arrays. We may require them. So the declaration and initialization part are similar. What we will be doing is that since we require 2D array, we will be putting 2 square brackets, meaning that we are storing array inside an array of arrays, right? So what we are saying is that there will be 3 elements inside an array, right? That's what we are saying. There will be an array element, and the array element contains 3 elements, and within the 3 elements, inside those 3 elements, each element will containing 3 elements. If I say 3 or 4, meaning that there will be 3 elements, inside them they will be containing 4 elements. Each element will be containing what? 4 individual elements. That's what 3 of 4. If I get 2 of 4, meaning that I will be having just 2 elements, and inside them I will be having 4 elements. That's all. This is the case. This is the type of declaration, this is the type of initialization for 2D arrays, right? Okay, we have stored them. How to access them? Similarly, here we'll be using double for loop, right? The outer for loop for these elements and inner for loop for each elements. Suppose the outer for loop will be for these elements, and the inner for loop will be for these elements, and after this loop this will come to this element, and after this loop this will come to these elements, right? Like that. So accessing, of course, we can also access single elements from them, right? To access that array of matrix of 0 of 1, meaning that I'm accessing the first element and I need the second element in that, right? Like the index starts with 0, this will be 0 index, this element will be 0 index, this element will be 1 index, and this element will be number 2 index, right? Inside this 0 index, if I go inside this will be 0 of 0, this will be 0 of 0, this will be 0 of 1, this will be 0 of 2, and this will be 0 of 3. So if I need to access 0 of 1, that is nothing but this 2 will be stored in this element variable. right? Similarly, we can also update the matrix or 2D arrays here. I'm updating 10 to 2 of 2. Okay, the first element or the first index of the within the square brackets is 2, meaning that this will be 0, this will be 1, and this will be 2. Okay, it's saying 2. Okay, will come inside this, and here it's saying again 2, right? So 0, 1, 2. What I will be doing here is that I will alter this 9 value to make it as 10. So now here the value will be updated to 10. If I output this also, I should get 10, right? So if I am doing like this, let's change it. So let's run it. That's what I told. This for loop is for outer elements and this for loop is for inner elements. The length variable which I am using, mat.length, and mat of I of length, meaning is that in this element I am getting the length of this particular element here, and it will be obviously 0, 1, 2, 3 indices, and the value will be 4. The length will be value output from the length method will be 4. So I is 0, I is less than math of length. What is math of length? This length, this full length. What is this length? 1, 2, 3. So this will be 3. This will be equivalent to 3. I plus plus, and j is equal to 0. J is less than math of I dot length. So what is math of I? Math of I is 0, right? Math of 0 is this thing. What's this length? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 will be the output of this particular method. So j is less than 4, j plus plus, and what I am printing here, math of 0, nothing but this is the 0, and out of this 0 is 0. 1 will be outputted to the console. Similarly, 2 will be outputted, 3 will be outputted, like that. So just rest run this. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, what I have done is that I've changed the values, right? Yeah, I think it's correct now. 2 of 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. I'm assigning the value of 10 here. Set element in third row, third column to 10. Okay, let's check here. I need to get the value of 10, right? 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. This new set to 10, right? Let me check it. Okay, this is mat, right? So let me change this thing also to mat. Now it will be updated to 10, right? Let me run this, guys. Yeah, now it's updated to 10. So the variable names, guys, which element in the array we are alternating or we're going to update it needs to be specified first, right? So initially I gave us matrix, so the error was there. Now it's been updated and I think it's now correct. So that's all for 2D arrays. So let's go to the concept of string, guys. So as I told, in order to store words or more than a single character or paragraphs or sentences, we use strings, right? So let's go to strings here. So using string literals, right? Similarly, for using the string literal, as I told in previous video also, so we will be using double quotes. We will be enclosing everything inside double quotes, and that will be known as string, right? So here, hello world is a string which you are storing in a string named as str, and also we can use new keyword to declare a string, and this string is nothing but a class or predefined class method in Java. So the compiler can understand this. So this is a constructor type of thing, guys. So they will be constructor for a particular class, so that will be invoked, and new keyword is used to allocate dynamically the memory to the string, and the output will be stored obviously in the format as string, right? Oh, and also there, as I told, Java provides with us useful method for manipulating strings. So obviously strings are immutable, but their string builder and string buffer, I will explain those also. So obviously, as we can get the length of arrays here, we will also get the length of strings here. For that we will be using string dot length. So we will get the length as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This output will be 12. Even the space will be counted, right? So we will store integer value 12 here, and also character, single character also we can store. As I told, strings are nothing but sequence of characters. So caret method is used to get string values, particular string value present at particular index. So char as 0 meaning that this will be 0 1 2 3 4. I will just comment this out and explain here, guys. So suppose they say hello is there, and this hello will be stored inside like this 0 1 2 3 4, right? In the 0th index h will be stored, in the first index of string e will be stored, in the second index of the string l will be stored, in the third index of the string l will be stored, and the fourth index of the string o will be stored. And if there any space, it will be taken in the fifth index, right? And hello world is, right? Hello world, right? 6 7 8 9 10, like this. The strings will be stored in the memory, right? No confusion in the things I get. And also we can get stub strings, right? So how to get there is a string hello world, how to get a part of it, that is known as stub string. How to get just a part of it, the beginning part, the middle part, or the ending part, how to get those things is that using the indexes, of course. Now comes the role of index, guys. As I told, why we require index is that we can get a substring from them. That's the one use case. There are many use cases for that. The role of index is quite large, guys. You'll be understanding. So string.substring method will return the char value present in the index 7, right? That's what you guys will be thinking, but that's particularly wrong here. Substring is in the sense here is that what we'll be getting is that from 7th index, right? From the 7th index to the end of the string, whatever the words or sentences or characters are present in a string, that will be printed or prompted to the this particular substring variable. Meaning that suppose, as I told, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? This is the 6th 7th 6th 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, including the space. This is the array, sorry, this is the string, and 0th to 7th index have been occupied by these letters or characters, right? From the 7th index to the end of the string, these words are present, right? These words are present. So these characters will be stored in this substring, right? Substring of 7 will return us the character starting from the index 7 till the end of the string, okay? And substring of 0 comma 5, we are passing two parameters to the same method here, meaning that we need to get the string starting from the index 0 till the index 5, meaning 0 1 2 3 4 5, and this fifth index will not be included. Till the fourth index only will be stored, right? That's what been done here. Only hello will be returned. And we can also perform concatenation, guys. So concatenation is nothing but, as I told, combining two strings together to form a single string. If there are two strings, we'll combine them together to form a single string. That's what we're doing here. So str is a string, and we'll as we know, the str contains the value of hello world. For that, we are combining how are you. So the output will be hello world, how are you, right? We can combine the concatenation operation by using the plus operator here. And also we can use the inbuilt method known as concat predefined method to concat to string. The string variable contains the value hello world followed by how are you, right? If I output this, we'll be going to get hello world, how are you. No worry, guys. I will like execute this and I will show the output, right? And comparison also is present in string, so that we can compare two strings and return a boolean value stating that two strings are equal. And also we can also combine two strings and return a boolean value as false stating that these two strings are not equal, right? We can do that. Equals method is present, inbuilt method, so that this string contains hello world, right? And I am passing a string inside this method, equals method itself. And this uh, the word which I am passing inside this equal method will be compared with the string variable. String variable contains hello word. What I am passing, hello word exclamation mark. Obviously both are equal, so I need to get the return value as true. The boolean return value will be true here. Let's check once I execute this. So boolean is equal ignore case. So what is this equal ignore case is that? So what I'm doing is that I'm passing an lowercase h here, and in string method there's an uppercase letter. So as I told, character they will be ASCII values, guys. So in character, please Google those things. I will not be giving in-depth explanation about that. So ASCII values are present for each characters, and every word or every letters in Java contain ASCII, like ASCII values. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So basically, as I told, everything will be compared to zeros and ones. Similarly, A will be compared to a particular value, numerical value, and B will be like converted to particular numerical value. So small letter h as a different numerical value and big letter h as a different numerical value. So obviously these two numerical values are not equal, and the return value will be false, right? That's what the method will be doing. So in-depth explanation I don't think so is necessary for Java full stack, guys. If you are into competitive coding and on coding stuff, obviously those are required. So for just in case, let's understand here equal ignore case. So what it will does is that it will ignore the case, meaning that if it does not contain ASCII value, what we'll be doing is that either it will convert the both the text to uppercase or both the text to lowercase and compare them. That's the case, guys, here. So obviously equal ignore case, so this both will be matched and the return value will be true, right? No need of in-depth explanation, guys, for Java full stack. So if you require those series also, I am ready to make that, but let's complete the Java full stack scenario here. So compared to method, as I told, this is lexicographical comparison. So lexicographical comparison, I don't think so this is also not necessary, so just skip for that, right? So finding a character or substring. So we can also find a character in a string and also find a substring, right? Suppose indexes of method is used to find the, like it will return the index of the first occurrence of O, right? So in the string, right, there is an hello world program, and index of 0 where the O is present, particular index hello, right? This hello will be there where the O is present, 0 1 2 3 4, 0 1 2 1 2 3 4, yeah, fourth index will be returned by this index of method. So return value is integer, so index variable will be containing value of 4. We'll execute that and see that. And string of index of word, so this will return the index of the first occurrence of word. As I told, index of means this world, there will be in text, there will be many words, right? The first occurrence word index will be returned. So in our example it will be around some number, we will see that. And last index, string of last index of 0 returns the index of the last occurrence of O. So suppose in a string there are like many O's present, the last O where it comes, here it comes, the last O comes here. So what is the index value? Let's go here, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This need to return the value as 8, right? And not this value, this will return this value, this O occurrence, not this O occurrence, right? Index of will return the first occurrence, and index last of will return the last occurrence. Keep those things in mind, guys. So and also we can do string replacement. So we can also replace a particular character value in a string with a different value. That's what we are doing here. String contains hello word, obviously, so we will replace the O occurrence with A, right? Wherever the O's are present, we will replace with that A's. So output will guys be seeing that. So replaces all the occurrence O with A. And string replaces, uh, obviously the words can also be replaced. World will be replacing with Java. Wherever the word occurrences are present, we will replace it with Java. That's what we are doing with this example. And we can also split a string, obviously. Split method is used for that. These are all built-in method, guys, no need to worry. Just we need to know these types of methods are being present in Java compiler so that we can use them. So what the split method will do is that wherever, like suppose as we have know that in general writing information, we'll separate the words, right? Hello word, hello word, how are you? For hello there will be a space word, like that there is a common path of writing the sentences. Similarly, so this split method will split based on spaces, meaning that we can get words in the sentences in here. Suppose in a sentences we need to extract a word, this is the common method used, and this is the common argument passed space to extract the words from them, right? That's the common use here. And string builder and string buffer. Okay, as I told, strings are immutable. What we are doing is that we are just accessing them and doing a replication. We are replacing them, right? That's what we are doing using the inbuilt methods, not manually. Keep that in mind. For manual interruptions or the manual updation or modification, we will be using string builders and string buffers. Okay, what are string builders and what are string buffers? For mutable strings, we can use string builders or string buffers. Obviously, that's what I told. String builders are faster and not synchronized, right? Okay, we'll see that. While string buffer is synchronized and thread safe. So, what is this synchronized? What is this thread safe? So, I just wanted to give an overview of this, guys. So, basically, suppose we are using a website, and for updates for that website, or the user using those website will mean large numbers. They will mean thousands, right? What happens if a particular order, suppose they send certain products, suppose a cricket bat, the same order will be given by exactly around 20 people at the same time, right? So the single product, once the 20 people like proceed to pay and proceed to buy that order, they say crash, right? Obviously 20 people can't buy the same product at the same time. So how the compiler or the engine running the system will come to know that I need to allocate the order to the particular customer, right? For that, there is a concept of thread safe and synchronization. So what is thread? So basically threads are nothing but processes, guys. So what is process? I don't think so there is an in-depth knowledge required for that in Java full stack. So basically what happens is that suppose there's two persons. So in order to simplify the concept here, suppose two person need to access an resource, right? It's not possible. Concurrent access is not possible. So for that, a lock will be acquired by single user. So once he goes and complete his task, he will release the lock. Once he releases the lock, the second user will go and acquire the lock, so that there will be no conflict. Two people fighting for the same resource. So one person goes in, he will acquire the lock and use the resources and leave the resources unlocked, so that the next person now can go and lock his resource, so that no other person go and access those resources. So this is the concept of deadlock and thread safe, guys. So I don't think so in-depth knowledge is required. Just keeping this in mind. String builders is faster and not synchronized, while string buffer is synchronized and thread safe. So I will make a different video if you guys require on string builder and string buffer. So I think that's all for today, guys. So if you guys have any doubt or any queries, please do comment down below, and also please be free to give a suggestion on the videos, and stay connected, guys. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in different video.